So we're gonna do the on-time drawing, and you guys have some really good odds. So,
50
uh,
50.
and I play the replays of this too for anybody that can't make it. So, da-da-da-da. The winner is Catherine.
Oh,
Congratulations. So you won a brand new Little Seasons Best Cookbook. So it
yay.
has some
Oh, thank you.
sides and desserts, and they do a new one each 6 months with like what's
Great.
current and on trend. So
Yeah,
I'll get that in the mail to you.
that's awesome. Thank you.
So let's get started. So this is just going to be the whole point is be super quick and simple.
Okay.
So just to kind of tell you my experience, I started making smoothies about 10 years ago. So you know how you can go through most of your 20s and into your 30s and you can kind of do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, and then all of a sudden it catches up with you.
Oh, yeah, real quick.
So yeah. So little health things pop up in my train of thought is okay, the first thing I know I need to do is get in more fruits and veggies. And that can be hard. I mean, just to get in those 5 fresh fruits and veggies, how many people actually do that? So
Mhm.
I looked into smoothies and I got interested in the blenders that can do it. And I thought, well, at least if I do that, I'll be getting in my 3 to 5. Even if I only get three, it's still better than nothing. So I've been doing smoothies non every day, like 7 days a week, every day for 10 years now.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, I don't consider myself an expert on many things at all. Like I'm not, I try to be healthier, but I don't have any kind of background
Mhm.
in the health or medical. And I'm not, a lot of my cooking videos, they're not for experts, they're for
Thanks.
your average home cook to be able to use the tools to get expert results.
Hmm.
So, but I was going to say smoothies, I feel like I am an expert in. That's one thing I feel like I can say because every day for 10 years, I think we're getting into like 4,000 or something. So I've kind of morphed over time, but basically what it all boils down to, like you were saying, Catherine, there's all kinds of recipes out there, and you can get endless inspiration, like you just Pinterest and so many books. But what I boiled down to is basically a formula, and I'm totally going to share this with you guys. So I have a basic formula and what we talk about is the elements. So your liquid and then your possible add-ins or optional add-ins, and then your leafy greens you do a lot of times, and
Hmm.
then a lot of times you'll do a banana, and then your frozen fruit, and that's what gives you the cold creaminess.
Hmm.
So I've boiled it down to the ratios. So basically, you can take whatever your preferred element is of each, and I'll go along as I go here, but you just plug in whatever your favorite version of that element is. So the first thing is liquid. So do you guys have any issues with dairy, or are you guys fine with it anyway?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I
I'm fine
usually
with
use
it.
almond milk.
I know you do use almond milk usually.
Hmm.
I know
Yeah.
so many people have issues with dairy, so I actually look at the smoothies is let's stay away from the things that are a little harder to digest. So I've been
Hmm.
going with the alternative milks. And I think really the safest, I don't know, safest is the right word, but the one that may have the least possible issues is coconut milk.
Yeah.
But I like the nut milks too, cashew, and then oat milk too. But with all these, what I always look for unsweet, unsweet, unsweet. Because I'm looking at this smoothie, I'm not looking at like it has to taste decadent, delicious. I'm looking at it like I want to get in my nutrition. And they still taste good. It's going to have like a mild, fruity, sweet flavor. But I'm looking at keep away all the sugar. So you pick your favorite alternative milk. And like I said, I've been going with coconut a lot because I've heard the more you read, you kind of hear different things. Oat milk might not be that great for you. I don't know. I don't know how much you guys have read about it, but coconut milk is the one that I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about. So you can start with your
Yeah.
liquid. And this is the blender that I'm using. Pampered Chef actually has a blender you guys might have seen. I know Lindsay has this already.
I do. And I
And
love it.
cool. You'll have to tell us. We'll talk more about the details of the blender later, but for now, we're just talking about whatever blender you have, make your smoothie. So I'm going to start with the liquid. And what I found since I've been doing this so long is I just pour the liquid right to the top, right to where it covers the blades in there. And you'll see, you guys can probably see how it just covered the blades. And so I did, for your guys' sake, I did measure this. It was 1.5 cups of liquid. And when I do my smoothie, it's a big one. It's like a 24-ounce smoothie. Because I look at it, it's like half my, sometimes it's like 1 or 2 meals of my day that I'm replacing. And then from here, what we do is the next thing you'll put in is your like powdered add-ins. Do you guys have a powdered, like a protein powder or a superfood add-in that you love?
I use either the Bowmar protein or First Form.
Okay. Bowmar, like Bomar?
BOWMAR.
Okay, I'll have to look at those. And there's so many different ones. It makes your head spin, all the different protein powders, green powders. I've been using a teaspoon of moringa powder. It's supposed to be a really good nutrition powerhouse. And then basically just I make sure I look over my ingredients really, really well. Like I like to get my protein from pea protein. I stay away from soy because it can be estrogenic, which that's really neat. So just I look through these really, really well, and I make sure there's no added sugar because we don't need added sugar. We get that so much in other places with what we eat. So this is like a protein and greens. I love the idea of getting protein and greens together. And then this I've gotten, it's just an unflavored collagen powder. It's just a totally neutral, like no taste. You're just adding it in for the benefit. So that's something else you can do. So I've
Yeah,
been
I do that. Because the collagen actually has like 15 or 20 grams of protein for 1 serving of collagen.
Oh yeah, so that I love to get in my protein that way.
Yeah.
Have you been doing the collagen a long time, Lindsay?
Well, off and on. I'm not really consistent about it, but I do like to, like if I'm trying to meet protein for whatever reason, then that's an easy way to meet it with that collagen.
Yeah, exactly. I want to look more into it too, because I know it's supposed to be good for your skin and hair and joints and everything.
Yeah, your nails and all that. Yeah.
So then from here, you have your liquid and your powder, and that's optional. You don't have to have that extra powder. And basically what I found is whatever your budget is with those, because they can vary wildly. The best one I found was the Beachbody shakes. They were so good and they're so healthy, no sugar or anything, but they were like $4 per serving. So I mean,
yeah, they're expensive.
So it's kind of a matter of where your budget's at with that. But so protein powder, and then you can go for some leafy greens. And I usually do kale. So for the longest time,
Bring it over here.
What's that?
Oh, I was talking to my dog. Sorry, I thought I muted myself.
So for the longest time, I did spinach, like 1 or 2 handfuls of spinach. And then last year, I found this book called Toxic Superfoods that I read. And I hate to be one of those people like, be scared of this, be scared of that. But spinach actually has something called oxalates in it that can be like an anti-nutrient that can keep you from absorbing nutrients. So, and almonds can too. So I actually got away from spinach and almonds. So that's why I kind of went towards coconut milk and the oat milk instead. And I'm doing kale instead of spinach. But this is actually optional too. Like my powder had some greens in it, so I like to think that counts, but still I know it never hurts to get in more leafy greens, and it's just like a handful you can throw in there. I did notice when I used spinach, you don't taste it. Kale, you do taste a little. And then banana. Banana is one of the secrets that'll give you like that smoothed out, more like creamy and just real creamy and mildly sweet. And
I
then,
would I would use spinach in my smoothies too, Erica. But is it just like maybe it affects certain people differently than it does others?
well, I'll have to show you that book. I'm going to send you guys, because I'll email you all the info after this. So I'll email you that book. And some foods are worse
Yeah,
than
because the spinach, like I'm sure it's kale too, but like spinach was called out in that Mediterranean diet book for like a fertility superfood.
okay.
Look at it.
Yeah, you'll have to look at it. And there's like recommended levels of this negative oxalates that you don't really want to go over. So you just can look at how much it actually has and kind of go from there. And it's
Okay.
all about, I was just reading a book a while ago. It's Reader's Digest, Foods That Heal, Foods That Harm. And I looked up spinach and it did say it has X and X benefits like vitamins, but then it did say because of the oxalates that can um, inhibit absorption of some of those.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, I know. I don't and do all your own homework. Like I said, I don't want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
as an expert at all, but that's just what I've read. So I'm just saying like I would look at that before you because I was eating a huge amount of oxalates like spinach and almond milk and I would eat a bunch of almond flour crackers and I would use almond flour and I noticed it like digestive wise. And I finally figured out that's what it was. So I know it did affect me negatively. So I would just kind of look into it. It's kind of a personal, each person has to kind of make their own decision, decide what's worth it.
Right, right.
So your banana will give you that sweet creaminess. And then this is an important part is your frozen fruit. So I need to take a field trip to my freezer 1 second. So what I've been doing a lot of is the blueberries because you can get frozen blueberries like really, really economically. Like instead of the fresh ones where it's like $5 or $6 for a little pint, you can get 3 or 4 pounds for like $8. So just by them being frozen. So I'm like, well, I'll just do that. And then another thing, I love little mango chunks if you want like some bright, fresh tropical flavor and vitamin C. And you can do any combination, but a lot of times I just do the one. So I'm doing the ratio is about a half a cup of frozen fruit. And I've been doing this so long I don't measure anymore, but so a half a cup is what we're going for. And then I just run this on my blender here. Catherine, do you have, I'm assuming you have a blender. Do you have a certain kind?
No, well, I think it's Cuisinart. I'm not sure, but I
Okay.
I mainly use my NutriBullet.
So yeah, I mean, whatever blender you have, definitely do your smoothies, whichever blender you have. But I was gonna tell you why I love this blender so much. So
Mhm.
about 6 years ago, Pampered Chef came out with, it's called the Deluxe Cooking Blender. And I'm such an info nerd. I actually made some little infographics about my different tools, and I'll share this smoothie one with you, like I told you. But the blender, my favorite, like it's very close to my heart. It's really like one of the number one tools for clean eating that I really couldn't live without because you can do things with it that you just literally can't with other things.
Mhm.
So it peaks at like 2 horsepower. So you can like maybe you've seen in a grocery like in Trader Joe's where you can buy bulk peanuts and make your own ground peanut butter there. This will do that in like 3 minutes.
Hmm.
So you can get that done at home and you know what ingredients are in there. And it has different settings. So the grind setting is where you would do like your nuts where you can make your own super creamy hummus. And then there is another feature where there's a sauce setting. So it's so smart that it knows how not to scorch. Like if you can actually do like a hollandaise sauce or a white gravy, and it knows how not to scorch the milk and to get your perfect sauce. And then there is, this is really good for health conscious people. There's a soup setting. So, you know, like those boxes of butternut squash soup or roasted red pepper soup, you can literally throw in your raw ingredients in here and hit the soup button. And like 35 minutes later, you have a smoking hot, silky pureed gourmet soup.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can see it like boiling. It gets up to over
Oh
200
my
degrees.
gosh.
Yeah. And then there is another exclusive setting. You can make your own jam. So you can put in your fresh fruit, pectin, and it knows how not to scorch it. You don't have to stand over the stove. And then it knows when to tell you to add sugar. So takes all the brain work out of that. So all those things that you can look like one of those people that make everything from scratch, which you are, but really it's doing it for you, which is my favorite. I do love cooking, but not actually like cooking all day.
Yeah.
So anything that could do it for you. Oh, and this is what's interesting too. You can actually make your own alternative milks in here too, like the rice milk, oat milk. This will do it. There's a setting for that. Um, so, and if you ever do get to a point where you have to do dairy free, a lot of the dairy free, like, what am I trying to say? Cheese alternatives, like cheese sauces that aren't dairy, are made with cashews, and you can do those in here, and they're like silky smooth, and they kind of trick you into thinking it's cheese sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is like, I was in love with this when I did, for a while, I did a really hardcore, no dairy, no grain, no sugar diet. So this was my lifeline. And then after all that, there is a clean setting, heated wash. So this cleans itself. So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I am in love with it. Lindsay, what do you like to do in yours? Do you do mostly smoothies?
Oh, she went on a potty break.
Oh,
Oh,
but
I'm here now. So yeah, a lot of smoothies, and then I love the soup setting. The broccoli cheddar soup is very good. I just did that a couple weeks ago.
oh, I haven't tried that one yet.
And then I love the self-cleaning feature too, because I use my blender sometimes multiple times a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because you can do so many different types of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so one of the preset settings, you can use this like a regular blender where you're just choosing your speed and your power speed and your length of time, or you can use any of the preset settings to totally take all the brain work out. So I'm gonna turn mine on and I'm gonna hit the smoothie setting. So, and then it will time down. And this is just gonna run for 1 minute. So you guys can kind of watch this. So that's it. Did that blast your ears?
I didn't hear it at all.
Good. I think I have that smart microphone set up where it blacks out noise. I'm glad. So this one isn't the prettiest color, and I can tell you that's because of the kale. So you
Yeah.
can do it with or without kale, but These are more just when you just need something to fill your belly when you're hungry. And the reason I love the high power blender for smoothies is you can sneak so many things into here and not realize it. Like you can sneak in raw cauliflower, raw broccoli, like even like celery, and there's no grittiness whatsoever, like at all. So I have that handful of kale in there and it's like silky smooth. So that is my basic smoothie formula. So you just plug in whatever you like whatever your favorite frozen fruit happens to be, your favorite alternative milk. And then I don't know how are you guys okay for time? Because I was going to show one more.
Yeah.
Okay. I am just going to rinse this out. I'm going to taste this a little, give me a little energy. And then I probably have a mustache. You have to watch that because if you drink your smoothie in the morning and race out of the house.
Right.
So that's the smoothie that I do every single day that I've done every day for 10 years. So you can do your cleaning cycle. I don't actually I just rinse this out like between smoothies and then I just do the deep cleaning cycle when it really needs it. So I'm going to rinse this out just one sec.
Right there, Cooper.
So this next smoothie,
Cooper. Cooper.
I actually I found this recipe on Pinterest again. And I originally found it because my oldest son, I'm thinking he's too skinny, he needs to gain a little weight. So I found this recipe and it's called 1,000 calorie smoothie. And I know like for us women, it's like, oh, we don't need the extra calories. But think about it, like you could just have these healthy calories instead of whatever else throughout the day. So this smoothie does actually taste decadent too, and it has really healthy ingredients. And I've been doing this one a lot, so I wanted to show you this one in particular too. So this one starts with coconut milk. So have you guys used this where it's the canned?
No.
So
No.
it's what I found when I was doing dairy free. This is what a lot of people that have to do dairy free are going to is the coconut milk. And it's actually incredible. Like you can actually make coconut milk whipped cream. It's kind of like that. I hate to say fatty, but it's the healthy fats. And if you look at this, when you open the can, the top is actually like solid. And then you get down into there and it's liquid underneath. So, and if you're making your coconut whipped cream, you take off this, the solidified part off the top. So it's actually a pretty incredible ingredient. And I'm glad I found this because there's so much you can do with it. And then you'll get into your liquid in the bottom. So I kind of do a little liquid and solid, and you're using like a cup. So this is like healthy, your healthy fat. Like the Mediterranean diet's really about that, isn't it? The healthy fats. So that one is your coconut milk. And then for my son, I've been doing this collagen. It's completely unflavored. So it's just something you add in to
Oh,
get
that's
your
the Vitals, isn't it?
that
Is it
brand. Yeah.
Vitals? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I use.
Looks like it's the bovine collagen. And I guess they do it from chicken too. But that's something that I kind of paid attention to because if there is anybody that can't have beef, you got to pay attention to that. So it's 4 tablespoons of that. It's actually quite a bit is what the recommended serving is. And then this recipe actually has a banana again. And if you ever get those really huge bananas, I just use a half one because some of those are monsters. I even figured out if you pinch your banana like that, you can get out of there without getting your hands sticky. And then we're doing everything powder first, and the frozen fruit goes on top. So this is fun because you do a tablespoon of cocoa powder. You guys like chocolate?
Oh yeah.
So a tablespoon of cocoa powder, and we're going with the theory that a little cocoa powder is healthy. And then actually a tablespoon of peanut butter in this one. So you're getting a lot of the healthier fats in here.
I feel like I get fat on peanut butter.
Really?
I do.
So you could, what about like your other like almond butter, or
I haven't really used it.
there's other types of, you can even do like sunflower seed butter too. So obviously any of the ingredients in any of these are optional. It's just a matter of what you like. And then you can put in a handful of baby spinach that you won't get the flavor from, or I was doing with mine a teaspoon of moringa powder, or there's like the spirulina, that's the green powder, it's super nutrient dense. So I like to add that in, just extra nutrients. Oh, in here, 2 pitted dates. That's what's going to give it. This one actually is decadent and sweet and delicious. So I get these dates at Costco. Look what I did. You can kind of easily forget these have pits in them. So you take 2 of these and you make sure you get the pits out, because I forgot once and that makes a really ugly sound in the blender. So these dates are going to give it like a really rich kind of like sweetness. And that is it. And I'm going to run this just like the other one for kind of a totally different version of a smoothie. We're just going to go back. And I actually forgot to rinse my lid. I'm going to do that real quick. Thanks for being patient with the timing parts. Okay, so we just dial over to smoothie and hit start. 1 minute. All right, that's it. So this one, we pour it out and show you guys. This one, you are getting that chocolate peanut butter effect. So this one, even my son guzzled down. He's like, it tasted so good. It was a little bit, you know what? I forgot to add in the frozen berries in here. It's still gonna be great. But on the very top, I should have added my half a cup of frozen berries. But just pretend like we did do that. And then once you have it, if you really want to go all out, you can sprinkle on a little toppings, like here's coconut, and then I have a little bit of cinnamon plus. It has your cinnamon, but then your other apple pie spices, so it's all in one. So cheers.
Yummy.
So that's something you want to get in some nutrition for the day, and actually have like a really decadent flavor too. So do you guys have any questions about the smoothies or the formula?
Mm-mm. It looks good.
So that's what I do, and I was gonna show you the specials real quick here, and we will do a grand prize drawing since you guys are here. And I'm going to email you that formula and the recipes in that book I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I have sitting right here, before I forget, back at our liquid stage, I forgot to talk about this. If you want to get in your probiotics and you're fine with the dairy, you can do some yogurt. So do you guys like the Greek yogurt?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And I just get the one that's totally it's unsweetened, unflavored. That way you can go any direction with it. You can even use it in your recipes or to replace sour cream.
So,
But yeah, so many customization options. But a big thing is I do like to keep these sugar free, or at least the only
Mhm.
sugars from the fruit.
right.
But let me show you something fun going on right now. So you guys probably know that there is incredible host opportunity if it's ever something you're interested in. But I just wanted to tell you what that is for January. January, you get double the amount in free products that you normally get for hosting. So if that's something you're interested in, hosting can be as simple as inviting some friends to a Zoom. So the next couple Zooms I'm going to be doing this month. Next week, I'm going to do the total opposite of this one, and I'm going to do some cozy winter baking. And then
I am going to be down to be the taste tester on that one.
wood. And then I'm going to do a meal prep one. Those are always really popular because it is very practical. We show how to do um, oh, and I'm sorry here. I thought I was doing a screen share and I'm not. um, but with the meal prep one, we show, let me get back to you guys. Okay. The meal prep one, we show how to prep for like 3 meals worth of protein and veggies in like 30 minutes on a Sunday. So that's
Mhm.
always a really good one. And then the last week of this month, I'm going to do game day appetizers, the Super Bowl coming up. So I think those should all be fun ones.
I'll
So,
be back for that one.
and we still have to brainstorm what we're going to make for that one. I'm going to share my screen here and show you exactly what I was talking about. So if you do, if anybody hosts in January and you get the average party and it's the minimum $650 in sales to get that double free, you would get $230 in free product. And then another thing you can get is 60% off select products. So that's a way to get way more bang for your buck if you have some things on your wish list. If there is anything you are interested in, any goodies you found, there's always a free gift with purchase. You get a veggie peeler or a serrated nylon knife if you spend $90 this month. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. In January, there's several of the prep tools, like the mandolin, and several cutting tools that are 20% off. So that's something really interesting. They don't always just do sales like
Mhm.
that. And then there is always new consultant offers. So Catherine, you know all about having your own business. Making your own money is so much more satisfying than for somebody else.
Sure is.
Even though it can be work, just like work, but it's so much, why not do it for yourself?
Exactly. It's a different kind of work.
Exactly. It doesn't like suck your soul. It actually fulfills your soul. But we just have the one final question to be entered in the grand prize giveaway. And then that's it. I hope to see you guys at another one of these, and I'll email you everything.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so we are going to wrap this up. So all you have to do to be entered in the grand prize drawing is to answer this final question with the number that relates to you. So it's going to be number 1 through 4, and just do that in the chat box. So you're going to comment with number 1 if you maybe saw one thing or a couple things that you're interested in ordering. You would put a number 1 and your favorite product from tonight. And then if your interest was piqued by hosting and getting some free goodies, you'll comment a number 2 and your favorite product from tonight. And then if you are interested in learning more about the Pampered Chef income opportunity, you would enter number 3 and your favorite product from tonight. And then if you had a great time, but you don't necessarily need anything right now, or you don't need any more info, you just enter number 4, but still enter your favorite product. And I can't wait to see what your favorite products were.
What was number 1?
Number 1 is if you need to order something.
Okay. Host
2 if you're interested. 2 if you're interested in hosting.
Okay.
3 if you are interested in learning more about Pampered Chef business. And then 4 if you don't necessarily need anything, but you just still all enter your favorite product.
So the only product that was featured was the blender, and I already have that.
It was.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can put.
That's funny. Usually I can incorporate in like 20 things, but that is a good point. I put in like the tablespoon. Here's a 1 cup prep bowl. Lindsay, oh, the olive oil dispenser. Oh, Catherine, I have to show you that if you're interested in Mediterranean cooking. So we have this new oil dispenser. So of course it's olive oil I have in here. And you know how you always are needing like a tablespoon, a recipe will say a tablespoon or a teaspoon of olive oil. If you can see the little measure marks here, you just squeeze and it fills to the 1, 2, or 3 teaspoons or a tablespoon.
Oh,
And
wow.
then you just pour that, and that's your spoon. And you didn't have to dirty any measuring spoons at all.
Cool.
The coolest thing. I've been using that constantly. Okay, so what do you guys? Ooh, Catherine likes the blender, even though I.
Right. It's like there was nothing left. I'm like, did I miss something?
No, normally I do have a way to show tons of different tools, but we were trying to keep this simple. But yeah, Catherine, definitely and I can tell you the upcoming themes too, because different people might be interested in different themes.
Right.
Like Lindsay, I know, so that's next week is cozy baking. I think I'm gonna do the cookie butter filled cupcakes.
Oh dear. Are they diet?
No, that one is the total opposite of this. So I do the no sugar smoothie so that when
Counteract.
when I do have it later in the day, at least I'm not stacking it. But I was gonna say that that's another fun little thing you can make in the blender. You can make your own cookie butter in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's fun. And then like as consultants share recipes and like things you didn't even realize you can make. It's like lemon curd I've made in there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and we're all done. We can hang around and gossip as long as you want, but I'll let you get on with your night.
Okay.